la 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 la. Wow, wow, wow.
Gina, what are you doing, honey?
I'm warming up. I'm getting my jaws loose and my voice ready.
But do you not see the...
Oh, are we recording?
We are.
Oh, no, you will. We'll keep that.
Okay. It's the Riveted.
With Chris and Gina. All right, I'm all loosened up now. Those jaws are flapping.
I'm glad they are. Welcome, everybody. It's your wonderful podcast host, Chris and Gina.
Hello.
We're with you in real time.
I mean, we're almost really live at this point.
Yes. Listener, we're recording this on a Tuesday evening, 2 days before this podcast episode that you're listening to right now is scheduled to be released. So what you're going to hear in a few minutes is a great conversation we had with some awesome friends back in the fall at an Airstream rally, and they're going to tell us all about their epic, amazing summer trip last year to Alaska. But we thought, Gina and I just thought we'd take a minute to give you a little real world, real life update.
Whether they want it or not, right?
Correct. So we talked about this some last year around this same time, but we did, but
I think we had a whole episode at the end.
Yeah, we do tax preparation in this time of the year, in the January to April timeframe, and well, I shouldn't say we, Gina does, for the most part, but it's busy. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And right now it is what time, Gina? It is
I think it's like 8:45 or 10 till 9.
No, it's 9:04.
Oh.
on
okay.
On Tuesday, March 10th, and we are recording this episode. And we don't want to miss an episode. Every week we've been putting one out, and we just want to take a couple minutes to connect.
We can't miss an episode.
No, we can't.
The listener would not like it if we missed an episode.
No, they would fuss at us.
They probably would. They fuss at us anyway.
They're
sometimes.
Already fussing at us for one other subject we want to bring up. But anyway, we
need to talk about that.
But anyway, we just wanted to let you know that we're exhausted, we're tired, we're working a lot of hours every day, 7 days a week.
But we're still thinking about you.
We are, and we're just what's getting us through all of this work right now is the excitement of being able to get back out on the road after April 15th and Airstream and see our friends and all that good stuff. So anyway,
I have something else that's exciting me to get through tax season.
What's that?
It's our new episodes that we're going to have coming out pretty soon.
Yes, I know, and it excites me too.
Yeah,
and I think it
doesn't take much.
It's excited some other folks because we hear you, listener. We have gotten some feedback. Some people have messaged us, and we made an announcement back in February, a little before like Valentine's Day, that we were going to release our first episode of the Riveted After Dark.
You got to say that better.
The Riveted After Dark.
The Riveted After Dark.
And we had good intentions.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And they just didn't materialize.
We still have good intentions.
Yes.
We're just delayed on the intentions.
So it is coming eventually, and it's probably going to, at this point, have to be after tax season before we get our mind around the best way to put that awesome content out. It's going to be exclusive on our Patreon page. Yes. And it's going to be real adult conversations about the things.
Real talk. Yes.
Real talk about the things that adults want to talk about sometimes. And we're calling it the Riveted After Dark. So be on the lookout for that. And please, for those of you that have messaged us asking, we just wanted to make sure you knew that it is in the works still. We haven't forgotten about it.
No, we have not forgotten about it. We've just gotten sidetracked just a little bit.
Yeah, and thank you all so much for the well wishes and encouragement to get us pushed through these next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes, all the support you guys have given us. We sure do appreciate it.
Yep.
But we're getting there. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Gina,
the tunnel just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah. There's when you say the light at the end of the tunnel, you know what I always think about?
What?
It's the line from that Metallica song where
Yes.
they say the soothing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
It's just a freight train coming your way.
Yes, I know. That's kind of what it feels like now.
I love that song.
I know. You love Metallica too, don't you?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, get this crap,
Oh,
listener.
yeah.
Okay,
I
I
knew
just
that
got to
was
vent.
coming.
I'm going to have to vent
All
for
right,
just
you
a
can
minute.
vent.
Dadgummit.
Let it out.
So
Let it
in the
out.
middle of all of this craziness of tax season, and we're super busy every day. People are coming and going through the office, all that kind of stuff. Metallica releases tickets they're going to have a residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas, right?
Woohoo! Yeah.
They announced 8 shows in October of this year, and pre-sale tickets went on. It went through their fan club, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, make a long story short, way, way, way more demand than there was supply. And when I had to get on and try to be ready to buy tickets as soon as they were released, and when I pushed the button and it put me into the queue, there was over 250,000 people in front of me waiting on tickets.
And you're like, oh, well,
So
that's not going to happen.
Needless to say, I didn't get tickets.
No. But didn't they release some more dates?
And I didn't get those either.
Oh.
No.
So we're not going?
I'm shit out of luck on that. We're
Oh,
not
man. All right, listener, if any of you guys out there know of some tickets, let us know.
going. No, they're crazy. No, it's done.
You think it's done?
It's done.
Oh, come on, babe.
No. So anyway.
Think positive.
So we hope you've been enjoying these episodes. Some of the ones you've been listening to the past month or so have been ones pre-recorded from a little bit of time ago before we got busy during tax season.
A time ago?
Wonderful conversations with great people, but
Great conversations. I had fun with all of them.
and so we'll leave you with this because it is kind of getting close to the time for us to make this announcement, which is all are welcome. If you want to be a guest on The Riveted with Chris and Gina, reach out to us.
Come on. We need you.
We're ready to schedule some more recordings. We usually do those recordings, in the evenings and on the weekends and stuff. And we can have you an episode pre-recorded, and we can get it into the schedule. And we would love to meet anybody. Everybody's got an epic story, just like the one you're about to hear. No matter what it is, and we would love to have you as a future guest on the podcast.
I agree with that, Chris. Everyone has a story, right? And we love hearing those stories. So please get in touch with us. Let us know, hey, I want to be on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reach out to us at info@therivetedfox. No.
Nope.
Yes.
You don't know what it is.
Shit, I forgot
Do
what
you
it
know
was.
who we are? Who are we? Info at therivetedfox.com.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't finish it.
Oh, I didn't finish
No.
it. But yeah, that's what it is. That's the
Yes.
email address.
What is it?
info@therivetedfox.com.
Honey, you're just so cute.
Hey, look, it's late.
I know it is.
Okay, listener, we're going to get out of the way and let you enjoy this awesome episode. If you have ever thought about making the trek to Alaska or being part of the Alaska Caravan, then this episode's definitely for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So enjoy it, and
Hey, but thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yes.
And we'll get out of the way and let you hear from our friends Dave and Mindy and us from back in November when we were together at a rally. And we're going to take you back in time now. Are you ready, everybody?
Let's do it.
All right, we will see you down the road, okay? Obviously, we all go in different directions as we travel, but then we can come back together at rallies or at campgrounds and things like that. And what's neat about today's episode, I think, is the couple that we have with us. They went in a big direction opposite of us back in the spring. We saw them in May in North Carolina at an Airstream rally. And then we went one way and they went the next. And now we're back.
They went way, way, way far away.
They did. And so when you just think of the scale of the United States in distance, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of miles, but we got our Airstreams hooked to us, and we're going and enjoying and adventuring it's just neat, I think, to get back together and chat and tell the stories and hear about the adventures. And this couple's got one heck of a story and an adventure that they did this year, and we're excited to
and they're going to share it with you, the listener.
Absolutely. So we've got some wonderful Airstreaming friends, Dave and Mindy Warde, with us.
Woohoo.
And we're sitting here in the mobile podcast recording studio this morning, and glad to have them. So welcome to The Riveted with Chris and Gina.
It's great to be here.
Glad to have you, and good to see you again. Time flies too. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was, well, how many months is that? I got to count. May, June,
It was in May.
July, August, September, and now it's October. So
6 months.
So 6 months, and a lot can happen in 6 months.
A lot did happen for them.
Yes. And so
But we'll get to that, Chris.
I know, but time does fly.
I know. We got it.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to set the stage for
the storytelling.
Well, and just I think put a little perspective on the fact that there's a huge epic journey that they took this summer, and it's only been 6 months or less, really.
Less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about where were you in life back when you said, let's get an Airstream. What we always like to ask that, what was going on in your life when you said, we need to add this to our living, style? What was that like?
Well, actually, I camped in an Airstream as a kid. It was my grandparents' Airstream.
Wow.
And they were early caravanners in the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, so it's in your blood.
So I guess it was in my blood. They went to Mexico. They went to Alaska. They went to Europe.
Canada.
I went to Canada, up to Nova Scotia. So they really, and sometimes they would camp or they'd park it and my family would borrow it in Michigan. We would go to a campground and we would hang out for a week and use it. So I have pictures of me next to the Airstream that they owned. And I always thought it was kind of cool. And I was really inspired by their willingness to, go out and do unusual things like that after they retired. Up to that point, they were really just stay at home and work and, and then they got a trailer and they went all over the world.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That is great.
And what was your perspective of that, though, as a child? How old were you when you remember them doing that?
I was pretty young. I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I think they got rid of the trailer mid-70s, so I was maybe in middle school, early high school at that point.
Right.
And I just liked camping, but not necessarily from that experience. My parents were not campers. I joined Girl Scouts and hiked the Appalachian Trail and went to Girl Scout camp every summer and went canoeing. And I just love to be outside, mainly in the Allegheny Mountains because I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay. And then as a kid, though, you're thinking, my grandparents are traveling in this camper all over the country. You had to be in awe, or did you think they were weird, or I'm asking because I wonder if our granddaughter thinks we're weird.
I don't know. I just thought it was a cool thing that they did that, and they would always bring back little mementos. I still have them, very small things, but it was very important to me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So flash forward to obviously adulthood, and you guys are wherever you were living at the time, or where you live, you were aware of Airstream from that young influence, and then you're like, let's get one. So
no, I was really just still a tent camper. I dragged him out on the App Trail with a backpack, and we went tent camping with our kids for years, including down in the Mexico desert.
Yeah, that's not any fun.
Yeah. and then Dave said, well, if we're going to do this as retired people, he wanted something a little more nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember how, for me, Airstream came into my realm of possibility, while we were married. But I do recall thinking that they were cool, and we were beginning to look more seriously, I think around 2017. Mm-hmm. And I learned that there was a place north of San Diego that would rent you the Airstream, the truck, and at the time, they did every paper towels, napkins, plates and forks and knives and pots and everything.
Like they stocked it for you.
You just showed up, but then you had to go
Wow.
shopping for food. But essentially,
That's another
everything was
experience.
ready to go. It was completely turnkey. So we did that, and
And you'd never camped in a RV before?
I had not camped in an RV.
Neither of us.
I had not. I had not towed anything.
We didn't own a truck.
I didn't know whether it would freak me out, and so we show up. This place, they're still in business. Roam and Board. Out of
what a
there.
name.
Yeah,
What a
yeah,
name,
yeah.
yeah.
They're about an hour north of San Diego. We flew out, then we took the train, and we just show up. I show my ID, my credit card, and boom, we're off in
You
this
didn't have
thing.
to
and I'm
like sign a dozen waivers or anything.
they're probably
Fine.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I remember them just letting me have it.
Wow.
Like okay, you're on your way, and we just looked at each other like they just gave us a trailer and truck.
Not
And
only
you
a
gotta
I
know
trailer,
have
what
no
to do
idea
with
what I'm
it.
doing.
and not only a trailer, they gave you an Airstream.
An Airstream,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a 20,
Wow.
22-foot basic.
Yeah, like the Bambi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
They
a front
reassuringly
bedroom,
said you'll
sideways
do fine.
queen, so you're climbing over each other, and
And a single axle, I guess, at 22 feet.
Oh,
was it?
I guess
think it was a
might have
double.
been.
Was
I
it?
don't know.
Maybe.
We got to the first campground and we thought it was a pull through. It was a state
I had
park or
booked
something.
a pull through.
And,
Yeah.
and the guy said, "Oh no, we don't have pull throughs
Oh,
in this."
boy.
Oh,
How
how'd that work?
How'd that go?
Well, we got it in there.
We got it in there. It took probably 5 or 6 approaches
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of perspiration.
Oh boy.
maybe some profanity was issued.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I
But
could only
we
imagine.
remained married.
Yeah, it was a great trip, and then we kind of fixated then on the Airstream. We tried some other options to see what a camper van was like. Too small, and we never tried a truck camper.
Yeah.
But
Well, I could imagine like, okay, so you go and you get this total rig and rent it, and I'm sure there's some animosity is not the right word, like anxiousness about all that anxiety, yeah, about all that, but you still probably got exposed to like hands-on usage of an Airstream and like enjoying it and that kind of thing. And then even though that might have been a stressful first attempt, it probably just like got you energized to definitely want to do it.
yeah, and the
on your own.
parks too. We found out about luxury parks like the one we're in here. They have swimming pools and
Yeah.
fitness centers, and we didn't know these things existed because we were always in state parks. They
don't have
really
any of that
bare
stuff
bones
on the-
basic stuff.
Yeah, they don't have any of that in backwoods tent camping.
No.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So
Cool.
we tried it. We tried the like a van, a camper van. Wasn't a great experience. Too tiny. The shower backed up. It was like not a great quality build.
But you
So-
rented that as well. Yeah, it wasn't like you went out and kept buying things. You were renting, and that's
Right.
I love that idea. Yeah,
So then also, I kept saying, well, there's these caravans we can go on if we get an Airstream. So we went to Colonial, and we started looking around, and this was post-pandemic, and we thought, well, first we bought, first we bought another trailer.
An SOB.
And SOB it was a great experience, and we had that for 2 years, and we took it out a lot on weekends, and I was still working, so we couldn't do long things. But we go to Colonial, and we looked at the 25s and the 27s and different floor plans and stuff, and we're about to leave. We'd been there for like 3 hours, and he says, "Oh, I got this 30. It just came in the shop. It's back there. It was a repurchase." And we're like, "Oh, well, I guess we should go see it." We weren't really thinking we'd get a 30-foot trailer.
We'll just go look.
We'll just go look. And like most people, we looked and we fell in love. It had been a repossession from an estate. Nobody wanted it. It had never been used. It sat around for a year on this guy's estate.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, it was a sad thing.
Wealthy family on Long Island needing a full-time caregiver.
They bought the
on
trailer for the
premises.
caregiver.
And so they
Wow.
either didn't want the person in their mansion, or the person said, I would like my own space. So their solution is to go out and buy a top-of-the-line 30-foot Airstream Classic.
But probably because of the delays in the production, it got there after the person had passed
gotcha,
away.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And then the actual lawyers called Colonial and said, "We found your card in there. Do you want it back?"
Unbelievable.
wow.
So Patrick at Airstream is like, "Oh yeah, I'll sell that again."
Yeah.
But we got it a 1-year-old at the prior year price, and all the prices were going up, and there was a long wait to get it. So we were pretty excited, and that's how we got a 30-foot classic.
That is an amazing opportunity to come
It
upon.
is. Yeah.
Just
It
lucky,
was. We just thought
right place
hey,
at the right time.
we would have paid. We were going to pay maybe a couple thousand less to get a shorter, smaller trailer and wait 6 months for it to be built.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. So 30-foot classic, 2023? 2021. Gotcha.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
And
congratulations on that.
we wanted a trailer that we could take across country and do these kind of caravans. So last year we were here at the same rally that we're at this year, and things weren't going well with my dad, and so we had to leave the rally early, and unfortunately he did pass away a few weeks later. But somehow during that time we got this email saying, "We have a spot on the Alaska Caravan."
Ooh.
And Dave just said yes. He
Without
didn't even,
checking with
without
her.
even checking. He said, "We're
We would
going to
go-
Alaska." I'm like, okay,
Man.
I guess I'm retiring.
So,
Yay.
So a couple things to unpack on that real quick, because that, Dave, you're a bigger man than me by 100%, because I could just not bring myself to make that kind of decision that quickly, even consulting with Gina. But
Chris cannot make decisions that fast.
I rolled the dice. I'm not normally that. I can be a little impulsive. I got an impulsive side, but I just thought, well, if I don't grab it, it's going to go.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
you're
can,
We
I
were
can,
on the
I can
list. It
bring
was one
Mindy
of the things
around
we
if
wanted
she's
to do.
reluctant to do
Yeah,
this. But we knew we wanted it. We were on the waiting list.
Yeah, we wanted to do it.
That's awesome.
The timing, I'll say, you're never going to say yes or say the timing's great for that kind of a trip. It takes months. We were gone for almost 4 months. I think if we actually sat down and thought about it and tried to figure it out, we would have said no.
Yeah.
So I would say just don't. Just when you get the call and you have an opportunity like that, just go ahead and take it.
Just do it.
Just
Just
go.
do it, because you can plan everything else around it, and
Right.
it's not important in the end.
Well,
The
and
trip
that's,
is much more important.
you know, we hear that a lot. People are just like, don't wait, go do it. And we heard people the first year we were Airstreaming saying, "Oh man, at your guys' age, man, we wished we'd have done it when we were your age." We kept hearing that. So I mean, you're right. Grab it and go. But I will say, some people might start off on like the smidge of the Blue Ridge or the
A little shorter
little
time
short
frame.
caravan.
I know
to-
that was the plan. Like
Yeah.
we did have a plan. So we get up to Dawson Creek, about as Yukon, as far north as you can kind of go. And this woman who's doing our tour says, "Well, like most of you, I had a plan."
Someone asked her how she came to
Yeah,
live
how she
there.
came to live in Dawson Creek, which is really remote. She goes, "Well, like most of you, I had a plan." Now she lives on the other side of the Yukon River with 8 dogs. She has to decide in the spring and the fall which side of the river she's going to be on for 1 month while it freezes or thaws, because she can't get across the river, and provision herself for that time because there's no crossing and no access to anything.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But yeah, she had a plan like most of us. And it didn't go as, and then things changed. And I'd say, we had a plan. It was go on some small things, right? But we got the call for Alaska. And actually, of the 25 people going, 17 were newbies. We had never been on a caravan of any kind.
Of
Awesome.
any kind.
Oh, of
Wow.
any kind.
Of any kind. Yes, we were all new to caravanning.
That that should tell you right there that, and everybody knows, I think, that it is, but the caravan program within the ACI is healthy.
Very. Sounds like it.
for that kind of stat you just gave right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's
obviously it's an epic journey that people would want to go on, but just the wait lists, so many people that were new. I mean, it just lets you know that the caravan program is very, very successful.
Yeah, and I think for all of us, they took care of all the details that we couldn't have done. I mean, yes, you can go to Alaska, but to plan, just for all of us to plan to get to the Yukon to the starting spot, and then also to plan our route home, were separate entire trips that were as long as Alaska. So to have that part of it taken care of, because you're traveling in an area without a lot of campgrounds, you're traveling in an area with more limited services. It was really good to be in a group. We all helped each other. We had some service issues that we were able to address with people on the road, which was really cool. We had some good mechanics and tools and everything.
So tell us a little bit about the just the general logistics. Like, I mean, we were rallying with you guys this spring, and then when that rally was over, you said, "Yep, we're going to Alaska this summer." And so, what was that like? What was the schedule? What did you have to do? You're talking about getting to the starting point, which
like
is
the time commitment and everything.
Yeah.
You mean?
Well,
Yeah.
that just the flow, like to get to where it started, and then what you did. Like,
So it started July 13th, I believe, and we left our house June. We were supposed to leave June 23rd, but then there was that landslide on 40, so we left on June 22nd and went around the mountain through Asheville to get over to the other side to Tennessee. And then we started up through Kentucky, and we planned to stop at a few places on the way out, but our idea was to not do a whole lot of touristy stuff on the way out because we had to get there. And we tacked on the first ever national event rally for the Calgary Stampede before it, because that was the weekend of July 4th, 5th, 6th.
right.
And that was really cool. I would say, I know they're going to do that again, that national event rally. And that's really a cool rally.
Yeah. That was like on your agenda before you left, or you just said, "Hey, let's do this on the way."
Once we knew we were going to Alaska, the registration for that opened up about a month later, and I said, "Hey,
this fits very nicely."
it fits in." And when else are we going to get to go? Because it's a long drive out to that rally.
Right. But it was just the two of you at the time. You had not met up with anyone else yet.
Correct. Yeah.
No, and there were actually 3 or 4 people from the Alaska Caravan that also did the same thing, and there were some people coming off the Rockies rally that went to that Calgary Stampede. So that worked out good with both of those caravans for tacking on the end or tacking on the beginning. So it took us a month basically to get to the starting point, which is mile 0 of the Alaska Highway.
Right.
And you'd asked about logistics. I mean, in terms of things we needed to do, Mindy can talk a little bit about canceling services and mail and delivery.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I was taking care
mail forwarding
of
service.
got new better tires on the trailer. I just went ahead and installed 4 new tires on the trailer, 2 new ones on the truck. Made sure it was the truck was all ready to go. I'd taken it into the Ram dealer and just asked them to go over it and look for any weak spots. I had intended to amass a number of replacement components. I ended up just getting the water pump and the toilet valve. And of course, since I had those parts, they didn't break.
And we did lift the trailer. We did the 3-inch lift on the trailer.
Yeah, we did a 3-inch
Yeah.
lift, which was helpful.
I bet so.
Yeah, for some of those roads.
Yeah, that was a recommendation. We looked at some YouTubers and bloggers that had gone up there, and one recommendation from Airstream owners was to get the lift. Although, I think you probably would be okay without it. We had people that didn't have that.
And with your Classic, you've got the 16-inch tires already, so between that and the lift gives you even more, height. So that's good. And hearing you talk about some of those kind of things is important, because they do say you got to prepare before you go in a big way for those kind of massive caravans.
Yeah, so we had never been on a caravan, and we're going to Alaska, and we're trying to figure out, what should we take? What clothes should we take? What food should we take? I'll just say, whatever you're planning to take 1/3 of it and throw it out the door. We took so much stuff we just didn't need because we didn't know.
Ridiculous amount of crap.
Yeah, way too many clothes.
When you go on these between the traveling and they would have GAMs, get acquainted meetings,
right.
And they front load those so you can get to know each other, which was terrific. And so you'd have GAMs, happy hours, dinners. And then
A lot of dinners
you're
were
getting
included.
your rig ready for the next day. Well, I'm a ham radio operator. I had borrowed an HF rig from a friend, and I had all of these plans on what I was going to do. I brought my little Martin travel guitar. You don't have time for your hobbies.
Leave all your
on
hobbies
these.
at home. Nobody ever did. People brought bicycles and they stayed on the rack. There's only one guy that really routinely rode a bike.
Yeah.
One guy. Other people, their bikes were sitting there.
See, this is great information.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like to have an expectation of what you're going to do, and then how you experienced the event and some of those kind of. I don't
Well, I
have
don't
time
know
to do
about
that.
other caravan. That caravan is a moving caravan.
Oh,
Yeah.
You were at the most 3 days in one spot. And
Mm-hmm.
the places where we were 3 days or 4 days were like in Anchorage or Fairbanks, where we have more services. And we use those times to
Do
some
laundry,
of us actually do service on our rigs, because
Sure.
by that point we needed oil changes or tire rotations or whatever. So,
Makes perfect sense.
yeah, the mail was an issue that kind of vexed me. We used a service, iPostal. I wasn't super happy with it, but you have to figure out a mail solution, because you cannot forward, your mail for more than 30 or hold it for more than 30 days.
Sure.
We were gone for 4 months.
Yeah, that makes sense too. So you're on the caravan, and you knew obviously what the agenda was going to be before you left. Was there any point in time where you felt, man, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening on this schedule, or was it really dialed in? You knew, I mean, because you're out in this amazing landscape, and you got to make sure that you're where you belong, but you also want to enjoy these amazing experiences and locations. So, was there any time where it was overwhelming to follow?
No, like every night when we were traveling, the night before we were traveling, we would have a explanation meeting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And before we left, a lot of people pre-booked trips, flights, around Denali, flights to see bears. Some people went up to the
Salmon
Arctic
fishing.
Circle, fishing trips. We found when we actually got up in there that because of the timing of our trip, it's a little bit past the peak season. And so some of those trips we maybe didn't have to book in advance, because it wasn't the peak of crowding.
Mm-hmm.
That's extra stuff not included in the caravan you're talking about, right?
Correct.
Right.
They had
Everybody did
excursions
extra
that
things.
were that the caravan leaders had already pre-booked.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of stuff included in that trip that's great. That's all pre-booked. And you should look at the itinerary and, take that into consideration when you're booking extra trips. But they're not doing any flight trips, because those are pretty, those are expensive, and you want to do it. And they're not doing any fishing trips, which all of us went fishing, every single person. So somehow we did fish. Some people just went out with their poles and got licenses and did their own fishing. But a lot of people did trips with guides.
Okay.
You really need to do flight seeing. You have to see the area from the air. It's just so vast. You can appreciate it so much more. You cannot see the glacial ice fields unless you get in a plane. You can see the front of the glacier, but you can't see above. And so to me, the flights really enhanced my trip. I think everyone would agree. The people that went up to the Arctic Circle, that was just a highlight for them to be able to land up in that,
that'd be
the gates
great.
of the Arctic Park, and then take off again. Places you can't get to by car or even by boat sometimes.
Wow.
You're in awe. You don't know what to say. Do
Well,
you?
I was going to say, it sounds overwhelming in a way, but that's a lot of
Well,
that's
I
got to do with we're not planners, but
right.
I
And
guess, but
planning's hard for us.
Yeah,
but they're the host or whatever. All that's already planned out.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
just
that
showing
trip
up and
actually
following
has
through.
been planned for years. So what they've been doing since when my grandparents went, they tweak it each year, but they go on the exact same days to the same campgrounds. They stay the same number of days. They travel. So we booked the campgrounds that day that we were there. We're leaving. We're booking the campground for the next year.
yeah.
That's
It's
literally
interesting
what they're
to
doing.
learn some of the economics from that we weren't aware of. For example, as Mindy said, they will book the same day, regardless of what weekday that falls on. So they'll book the 17th through the 19th of July as far ahead as they can. And they need to do that because the larger companies will come in and say, we want those spots. and so you have
Right.
to keep grabbing them so that they're not taken by large companies. I don't know if I want to say their names, but
Yeah, the campgrounds have become a lot more competitive. There are very few campgrounds.
and
up
a couple
there.
of the campgrounds we went in were what I would call just not like dream destination type of things, and that was for me. It was like, and I had to get over that and just realize that we are up here in just an amazing situation. I didn't do this to book an RV resort that I'm going to hang around in all day. I'm going out, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons for that is just the economics and the competition for those campsites
Makes sense.
is pretty intense.
Yeah.
And are
Yes,
these
a lot of people want to go to Alaska, and they're starting to do it with different methods.
And I guess that's also why they limit the number of people on that caravan in a way too, is because they want to grab a certain number of sites. They can't just say, sign up and you can go, and all of a sudden it's 50 one year and
Right.
30 the next and 60 people
Correct.
the next.
Yeah, they've
to be consistent.
pre-booked the 27 or
Yeah.
30 sites that they have for next year already in
Right.
most of the campgrounds. And then there's the economics of Alaska. So you never know when spring rolls around who's going to open up. One of our campgrounds never opened up. Yeah. So they said to us, well, we had a campground, but we don't. So there were a bunch of provincial parks around in this area. It was in Destruction Bay. So we all decided we were all going to, they said, why don't you can camp on the road. You can do that up in that area. Or you could go to some of the provincial parks.
But you're on your own.
But you're on your own, you know.
You're
because
boondocking tonight.
They can't go in and book a provincial park. You can't book a bunch of sites there
En
with a
masse,
group,
yeah.
en masse sites. Everybody has to book individually. So we all ended up at this one provincial park on a lake. Gosh, it was gorgeous. The provincial parks are beautiful up there in Canada. And, we had a wonderful time. It wouldn't have made the trip wouldn't have worked if we were all doing that independently every single night, every time we had to move.
Sure.
But for one night, it worked, And another time, this campground we went to was really not much of a campground. It was a field. We made a wagon wheel. You'll probably see a picture of it in the
That's cool.
in the magazine. We're going to try to get it in there because there were no facilities. They had like 7 sites with facilities. That was it.
But in the majority of the stuff that's planned for you guys is like a full hookup or partial
Yeah,
hookup?
they're always trying to get full hookups.
Okay.
We would
It's
generally
30
have at
amp.
least 30.
Yeah, but
Sometimes
you don't
50.
you don't need the 50 because you're not running your air
Right.
conditioner.
Sure.
People ask about the weather. They think it's cold up there. It was not cold. You have 24-hour daylight, so by the
Right.
time 5 or 6 o'clock rolls around, it can be 80 degrees for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
One of our Texas guys wore shorts and flip-flops the whole time and got a tan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
what was the specific dates from the start to the official end?
I think
July 12th
to
September
13th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just 2 months, like 60 some days, 62 days or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it is technically it's summer, and you're still very far north, but don't always feel like it's going to be cold weather.
Right.
It's not. It's only cold when you go to like glaciers. Like so, if you're doing glacier landing or you're close to the glacier, then it's definitely you'll feel a cold breeze.
We didn't experience any freezing. Some of the overnights
no freezing.
were, it might have dipped down to 43 or so where you got to, turn
Yeah.
your heater on. One of the roles that people could volunteer for, there were a couple of them. There was somebody would provide traffic reports, road conditions, and where were
Mainly,
the
when's the
wildfires.
construction?
And another was they had people volunteer to be weather guessers.
Oh,
And the
Weather
weather
guessers.
the weather guesser would go on, to Weather Channel or whatever app and read, and then they would kind of like say the prediction. But it was pretty funny. We just regarded them as weather guessers. And
Yeah, because you're in the mountains and you're going up and over mountain ranges. You're not at high altitude. The reason that Alaska looks so dramatic is because you're only at maybe 500 foot above elevate, or at sea level even, versus like being in North Carolina where, we're looking at mountains that are 6,000 feet, but we're looking at them from 3,000. So they don't
Yeah.
look so big. But there you're looking at a 4,000 foot mountain from almost sea level. So it looks really big.
so what's the humidity like in the summer there? Is it humid?
No, so you have 2 types of weather. You have desert weather. Think about this. So the mountain range that runs along the coast is capturing all the water. So western
Lee
side of
side.
that, on the lee side of that, the ocean side, where that's where you have like a rainforest, a literal rainforest. And
Yeah, that'd be the windward side.
And the snowiest part is a pass that goes over into Valdez, which is where they track the amount of snowfall for Alaska. We went over it, and when we went over it, you could hardly see. It was so cloudy. But the minute you got to the other side, it was dry and sunny, and so when you're on the inland part, you're in a desert.
Wow. I would not have expected to hear that.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
That's neat.
Yeah, the geology is really cool up there. I mean, the plates came together and just smashed and pushed all those mountains up. And then you have the remains of the volcanic chain going up into Lake Clark. Mount Redoubt is the last volcano in kind of like the whole Ring of Fire chain that runs all the way through that area down to the Pacifics,
Wow. Okay, so most amazing experience and the most struggle, what would that be?
Well, for me, flying over to Lake Clark for bear and fishing. We fished, but we couldn't take any fish because the right kind of salmon weren't running yet, and the ones that were in there were half dead. But we're sitting there fishing, and I realized I liked fishing a lot. We did fishing for dolly vartons, little fish that eat the eggs, and it's a lightweight line, and you can feel them just sort of nibbling on the end of your pole, and then you can just snag them in. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. While we're there fishing, this bear just comes out of the woods and just swims across the water. They're very good swimmers. Gets to the other side and just starts lumbering along the edge of the water. We're just watching this huge bear. It was a male. It was big, going all along the edge. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And then after we fished for a couple hours, we get in this boat and we just floated to other parts of the lake, and we watched this junior bear for probably 25 minutes fishing.
Sometimes as close as 10 feet.
Yeah.
He's not the least bit
around.
interested in us. He's just fishing.
Yeah.
And then we went to another section. We saw a mama bear with 2 little first-year cubs. That was really special. And then we saw a mama bear with a second or third year. And they do play fighting at that age. So the bears are getting bigger. They stay with the mama for 3 years. And when they start to get older, the mama's trying to train them. So while I'm filming, videotaping, this mama just slaps the junior bear, and then she runs off ha ha ha! I got you last.
Oh, I love that.
It was so fun.
Don't you wish we could do that to our kids?
I know. And then we went in by float plane. We weren't sure it was going to work because it was kind of cloudy on the land, but as soon as we got out over the bay, it was beautiful. And then the float plane guy picks us up. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. And he says, "Oh, it's such a nice day. I'm going to do some more sweeps around." So he's sweeping around in the park and going past Mount Redoubt. And he's like, "That little puff of smoke, that's from the volcano." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
So by this time, Mindy's in the cockpit, the co-pilot seat, which I had been on an earlier flight. And I have a certain amount of low-grade anxiety when flying, simply that stems from me not being in control. So on this second flight, I'm in the back, and I've just got little portholes, and I'm looking out the windows and seeing just sheer rock faces that look like you could reach out and touch them.
Oh, man.
So I'm just kind of white knuckling it and holding on, and I hear this guy say, "We're going to take the scenic route." I'm like, oh, God. But I made it through it. Mindy still hadn't had enough, and she took a third flight later on, a week or more.
Yeah, when we were in
later,
Haines.
and I just said, I'm about funned out. So I stayed home and puttered around the trailer, taking care of things.
But listen, no, there were a bunch of people that canceled on this flight. I was the only one from the Airstream group. It flew over Glacier Bay National Park. So we saw the ice fields that were supporting all those glaciers for the 4 national parks. There's 2 provincials and 2 national parks that are in there. And there's a mountain there, Mount Fairweather. It's 15,000 feet. Apparently, Cook saw this mountain, called it Mount Fairweather, and the joke is that no one ever saw it after that. Well, it was in complete full view. I have amazing pictures of it. We're flying over all these glaciers. I look down and I see a couple boats. Well, one of them was a little kayak that was from our people in our group. They had taken they'd gone over to the national park, and then they had gotten in kayaks, and they had kayaked up to the edge of the glacier, and I'm looking at them from up above.
That's great.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
Were you able to take pictures to give them? Or?
Oh, yeah, I took pictures. They took pictures. They got me the stamp from the park. There's a special stamp when you get over to the park. They got me that. Yeah.
That's great. We love those stamps.
Over
I
the
love my
top.
stamp book.
So that was her highlight, and I mentioned a low light, like struggling in that one flight. But on September 6th, various people had been waking up in the middle of the night, checking their NOAA weather apps to see whether we were going to see the northern lights. And we finally got a look about 2 a.m. on September 6th. We got just an amazing light show.
Oh, wow.
Where it just like visible to the naked eye, didn't need the phones to see them. They are just dancing all around. And it was
Above you,
It was
at the
incredible.
horizon, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at 2:00 in the morning? I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Why can't they do it like at 10:30?
We I should have complained on Yelp that we
there
would
you
like
go.
the Northern Lights to appear
Bad
earlier.
Yeah,
review.
to be on your schedule, not their own schedule.
I'm just
But,
kidding.
yeah.
I bet that was amazing.
That was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Wow.
And I'll say another thing. That's the animals. Everyone wants to go to Alaska to see the animals. We saw everything. Every animal that you are expected to see in Alaska, we saw multiple times. We saw black bears. We saw grizzlies. We went on multiple ocean, water tours where we saw whales. We saw the beluga whales, which are in the Turnagain Arm Bay. We saw
I sang Baby Beluga to it.
How does that go?
but yeah, you're going to see, we saw eagles galore. I mean, over in
Oh, I
Haines is
bet.
like an eagle preserve, but there's just eagles everywhere up there.
And we'd seen bison, muskox. We didn't see wolves.
We didn't see wolves, and
Or
we
it
didn't
was-
see caribou, which are a migrating animal, and they're actually more up in the north, like in the gates of the Arctic Park and stuff. And there was a herd that was supposedly migrating in this one area, but none of us ever saw it.
Man. That's,
I wish the listener could see their face while they're talking because they are just glowing. They're just
Absolutely.
smiling from ear to ear and just glowing.
Well, I mean, it's like those memories are in there forever, but when you talk
Yes.
about them, it's like right on the forefront, and
Yes.
it's, wow.
It's
Yeah,
like,
we
oh, I
we
wanna go
looked
back.
out too. We saw Denali 4 different days. Some people
God.
never see Denali, but we
Yeah.
were really lucky. And that's a beautiful mountain, and to see it when the sun's shining. And as we were driving down, also heading further south, we saw the Drum Mountain, which is in the Wrangell St. Ellis chain, and that's also an iconic picture of Alaska. You'll see a road that looks like it's going right into a mountain. That's Drum Mountain. So we lucked out completely with the weather. We had such great weather most days.
The caravan leaders, were they ones that had been doing that caravan many years? Like, had they done it in the past?
Well, so
to where
it
they
used
could
to-
compare
yeah,
your
yeah.
caravan to ones in the past that maybe they didn't get those good views and
The
experiences.
senior guy had done it 6 or 7
they
times.
said actually there was, I think it was the year before that, there was a really rainy one. Some people got so discouraged they kind of
Oh,
left early.
really?
If you can't see the scenery, I could see getting discouraged, and rain over and over again would be really
Yeah,
hard.
that would not make it fun at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, any kind of like Airstream struggle or anything, or did everything?
We
go
had no
smoothly?
major breakdowns. At one point, my awning wouldn't work, but that was not really related to taking it on Alaska's roads and any kind of.
Yeah, one
Rough,
couple left their awning out when it rained. We know what happens when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was
collapsed.
just collapsed and broke in half, and they had to just cut it off.
Yeah.
A pressure wave took out a window, and we got some Lexan and fixed it temporarily till we
Yep,
got back.
and another couple nearly lost their fresh-water tank, but a couple
Yeah.
of one guy in particular was just a superstar, and he we went out to Lowe's and got some material, some not rebar, it's angle iron, stainless steel, and he just kind of made a bracket,
Fixed it.
made it better than new.
Yeah.
They were getting so discouraged, and were thinking about just bailing and going back to the West Coast to get the thing repaired. Mm-hmm. And this guy was
Which still would have been a 2-week trip. We're like, without your water tank? I mean,
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
so that was, I guess, meeting people like that and really growing close to them over 60 days was one of the sweetest parts of the trip.
Well, what I like about it is maybe not just this caravan, but caravan in general, is how everyone jumps in, pitches in, and helps each other out, no matter what's happening,
Yep.
and You know, who knows? Maybe it's luck of the draw that you have a, mechanic on hand at the caravan right when you need one, or, whatever it may be. But
Everybody's got each
I
other's
think it's
back
great.
in some
Absolutely.
form or fashion.
And they work it out. They figure it out and work it out. Yeah.
And I just one bit of advice for people considering it, and maybe like we met a couple last night that are on, that are going, and then somebody else who said, I'm on the list, I'm going in 2030. If you communicate with the caravan organizers and let them know that you are ready to go, if the call is made, you can probably get on there, because life happens, and people have just different things, and people have to back out. Mm-hmm. But if you are ready to go, you can probably get in there. I know that the organizer, as he's working through the list, as people were canceling, was going through it rapidly, and one after another, people weren't ready to jump in at the last minute. So anybody who's got kind of flexible plans for the year could probably get on the trip if they're ready to go.
Well, I mean, what you've been saying and the way you've described it, we can tell that the experience is forever, part of your life, no question. It's I'm envious. So I think, Gina, we can open up that part of our mind a little more to planning the Alaska
So we're heading
caravan.
to Alaska. Is that what you said?
Well, eventually. Yeah. I mean, we for sure we will. Yeah. Hey, what was
I don't think we.
You know what was surprised me was actually a little bit more of a problem was time change.
Oh.
So you are as far as 4 hours from East Coast time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And communicating with people back home was you had to plan it.
Oh, well, we wouldn't communicate with anybody.
Well, and especially if you. It would make it even more difficult based on the daylight issue too, to where you could get lost with your time.
Well,
what time it was.
We took a picture of ourselves at 10:30 at night, and it looked like daylight. We were like, and then that was the place where we saw the Northern Lights later. So a month and a half later, it was dark at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. What was it like doing the border crossings and stuff? What are those logistics like nowadays?
Well, we were prepared for it to be a little problematic, maybe acrimonious, based on all the news and the whole thing with the tariff wars and all of that. So we crossed into Canada for the first time through Glacier National Park to Waterton, and encountered our first Canadian border patrol, who asked for the passports. I handed him, and where are you from, sir? North Carolina. Do you have any weapons? No. Bullshit. And then he cracks this big grin, and I go, no, I don't even own a weapon. He goes, oh, bullshit. He goes, and
he's perceiving a North Carolinian to be a weapon carrier.
He couldn't fathom that I actually didn't own a firearm.
He's actually pretty smart to assume that.
And then he wanted to know who my driver was, and I just pulled, Jeff Gordon out of my backside, because he's the only, NASCAR driver the first one I could recall.
We're North Carolina, so we don't know all this.
Yeah. So for the most part, it was,
you got profiled.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did, man. I was.
But he was bored. Maybe maybe he sees a dozen people at that border crossing. It's inside the park. It's only open during the summer.
Right.
But everybody was very cordial, and they just professional, and asked the usual questions. Do you have any weapons, and do you have any food to declare, and
They asked two questions: running whiskey? Anything to declare, and do you have any weapons? You can take quite a lot of food, and you can take liquor, in reasonable amounts, not a lot, but the exceptions, the amounts you can take are enough for you to traveling. We went back and forth over the border a lot.
Like 9 or 10 times.
Yeah. The first time we crossed into the U.S. After we, got into Canada was at top of the World Highway after going across the Yukon River.
On the road to Chicken.
And the border guard there said, "Oh, welcome to the United States." We hadn't been in the United States at that point for over a month.
Wow.
Because of that vast amount of distance you have to travel just to get back to Alaska.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, you're going to, the drive down is beautiful." And sure enough, we'd left the gates, and it's paved, and there's beautiful vistas, and we're up on the top of a mountain, and we're starting to descend. And then the road turned into the worst road we had ever been on. It was really awful. It's a seasonal road, that top of the world highway, and going into Chicken is also only open in the summertime. And it really was horrible road.
Yeah, you
So
got to really slow down.
We've
Yeah.
heard stories from Chicken before. Do you guys? Did y'all have any stories you wanted to share?
Well, there might be somewhere on some hard drive photos of me at the Chicken Saloon attempting to pole dance, but I can neither. I can't confirm or deny. But if
I would love to see that.
everybody,
There's only 3 things in Chicken: a saloon, a deli, cafe, which is really, really good bakery,
liquor
and
store, gift shop,
store.
liquor store,
a gift shop.
A gift shop, liquor
Yeah.
store.
and the saloon is unique. The things that are the hats and other articles of clothing hanging from the ceiling are something you just have to go and see.
You have to witness
For
it for
yourself.
yourself. Yes.
So, do you have articles of clothing hanging?
There might be. I
Yeah.
can neither confirm nor deny
deny.
that that there may be bits of fragments of our clothing.
Maybe we should take bets on that with the listeners.
Is
You have to go for yourself.
Oh, we'd have to go see.
What happens in chicken stays in chicken.
Yeah.
Did you sign them?
That's a like just the name Chicken, like a town chicken.
Well, we heard they had great cinnamon rolls.
There's cinnamon rolls all over the Yukon, all over Alaska, and
It's
they
a
are all
thing.
great. It is
Yeah,
a thing up
it's a
there.
thing,
Yeah.
And the only negative is that if you don't get up and get on the road, sometimes these places sell out.
They'll be
Oh,
gone
yeah.
by the
You've
time
been driving
you get
for 2.5 hours looking forward to a cinnamon roll, and you get there and they're not there.
Gone.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
there.
The struggle's real.
It is real.
Absolutely.
I would feel that struggle.
Wow. Okay, so how could you ever like have any kind of I mean, your expectation in bar has been set so high with your airstreaming trips with Alaska like this. Like, what's next on the horizon?
Well, actually, we're going to Northern Lights Polar Bears next year, which isn't as big of a trip, but it is still pretty big because you
It's
go
a
up.
month long.
It's a month long.
Yeah.
And half the people from our trip actually signed up for it over the course of the trip. We had already signed up for it before we started the Alaska trip. And then we started sharing that we're going, and we found out a couple other people were going. And then spots kept opening up, and people kept snagging them. And by the time we ended the caravan, like half
So
of us
we're
are
going to have a little reunion
we're gonna have a
with many
reunion.
of those
Oh, that's
people
great.
who are on the trip.
So that'll be interesting, but I also wonder about that, Chris. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the other caravans are going to be the first caravan's always your first caravan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was an epic one.
Well, I think there's a lot out there that are epic. They're just epic in a different way, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, sure. That's yeah.
Like those others that are still on the list, I would love to do the Route 66.
And the
Was
Nova
that Chicago to
Scotia
LA?
one, the Nova Scotia one would be similar to Alaska in terms of timing for us,
Yeah.
getting there, getting back, etc.
So it sounds like you did retire then. You're both retired,
I did.
but you're not full time. You still have a home, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Still
did.
have our home. I need a place to make sawdust, and
And we talked about that, like, as after taking a big trip like that and being on the road for so long, would we full time? I mean, one woman that we travel with, I think she might go full time.
Yeah.
She has a place in Philly, but I don't think she feels wedded to it, and she really liked just being on her own out there.
That's great. So there was the solo people on the trip.
There were 2
as well.
solo people. The
Okay.
rest were all couples.
Yeah. Okay.
And were there any other Carolina's Airstream Club members on that caravan? Or were you guys the only ones?
Well, the leader, George and Pam,
Pam.
had been Carolina Airstream members for a while. They live in NTAC now.
Okay, gotcha. Neat.
They lived in
but several
Charlotte
people
for a
had
long
made
time.
very long treks from Florida.
Yeah. Boy,
Yeah, we had people
Just
from
getting
Florida.
there. So
And we
I did-
also, I should say this, we also had some people with some health issues. I would say don't let that hold you up if you can manage your condition or whatever.
Well, that's great.
Boy,
that's
yeah.
good to know.
From
yeah.
Florida to Alaska is a long way.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that's probably the furthest point A to point B, right?
Yeah. Well, we drove 16,193
93
miles.
Say that one more time. 16.
16,193 miles.
193
That's
miles.
from the time I had the tires changed the week before, so it might be closer to
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
That's from Waynesville, North Carolina, all the way up to Alaska, all around Alaska, and then back. we didn't come straight back. We kind of skated across the border and went over to Plattsburgh, where our daughter lives, and then came south from there.
Yeah.
That's
You were still headed in the right
it's a
direction.
journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The so but 2 months, right?
Yes.
Yep. 2 months in for
Just
the
in
Alaska
Alaska.
trip.
Yeah. I was just I'm thinking okay, so you took your truck back into the service to get it's another service when you got home, and it had only been 2 months, and they're like, is this mileage right?
Well, it'd been 4 months total.
4 months.
Oh, 4 months.
Yeah,
4
4
months.
months total.
Where you been, son?
Yeah.
No, they knew we were going because he had them check it out.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Well, amazing story. Thanks for sharing it.
Yes.
I mean, we're excited for you to have had that experience.
Well, it's
I mean,
something that people are always wondering about, especially RVers are always wondering about, well, do we take our rig? Because we always thought, we just put a truck camper back end on our truck and just use that so we wouldn't be towing and we could get in and out of places better there. But
a lot of people, fly up there and then get a rig there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of rental rigs flying around.
And that makes perfect sense if they don't have the time to drive, cross country to Alaska and then that drive back, because that took another 2 months for you to do.
Yeah. That's just part of the journey.
But I think that it's great that you guys came on and shared this with the listeners here, because there's lots of questions out there. We probably didn't ask them all. I'm sure that we'll find out that we didn't ask them all. But, it's okay that you at least gave them a snippet of what your experience was, how you set up for it, and how much fun it was. So I think that
It's
people are going to want to go.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways you can have excuses not to go because of the timing, because of the distance. And I would just say, don't think about that.
Don't wait. Life's short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you even describe it with the word fun, or is it that fun not strong enough of a word? Like what do you think?
It's just a place you really kind of have to be there and experience. The topography itself is so vast and goes on forever, and the mountains never end, and you just you really appreciate how big and vast our country is and how beautiful it is.
And the people who go to Alaska are interesting. I'm wearing a T-shirt that I don't think you observed. It's got a dude on the back of a grizzly bear holding a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it says "Safety Third"
Yes.
Alaska. So,
I like that.
That is great.
The number one thing in Alaska, people are drawn there for economics. They think they're either going to strike it rich, or at least they're gonna earn a living and be left alone and be comfortable. So that's number one, is economics, and number two is just adventure. And so the people there
are very different from the lower
are
48.
really cool. It's a different vibe when you meet them.
Yeah,
It's, you can just kind of tell that they're marching to a different drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I bet.
a good way.
And
can.
they have to be independent. They have to be able to do everything themselves.
crazy.
Think about crossing the Yukon River and living over the opposite shore for a month where you can't get
Right.
supplies.
Right.
This is typical. She was not an unusual Alaskan.
Well, and think about for that example, the first season that she had to do that, where she wasn't experienced of knowing what the seasonal patterns were, and the first time she did that, it takes a special person to just know, okay, this is what's getting ready to happen to me, and I'm prepared to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. That's
if
a
it
different way of
involves
life.
ice, I'm not in frozen temperatures. I'm not down for that.
You can't wear your flip flops on the glacier.
No,
baby.
I've got to wear flip flops. Yeah.
Well, okay. So thank you so very much again. Great to
This was amazing.
to hear it, and great to see you again, obviously. And congratulations on such an amazing summer trip.
Good to
Well,
see
thank
you
you
guys.
so much for having us.
Yeah,
That's
thanks
great.
for having us.
All right, we'll see you down the road. Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Thank you, guys.
We've come a long way, and I only say goodbye because, we never say goodbye on a caravan, but we'll be seeing you down the road.